channel. So on today's tutorial we'll be learning how to cut a long pencil skirt. That is the tutorial for today. So as you can see on my table here, I have my fabric. I already cut out the fabric I'll be working on today. So and how I got the measurement and the amount of fabric I cut out is you divide the fullest part of your measurement by 4 plus your sewing allowance. So here the measurement we'll be working on today, we'll be working on the measurement of the waist measurement, the hip measurement, the knee length and the skirt length. So my hip measurement is 45. So 45 divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance. That is how you get the amount of fabric you place on fold. So after cutting the front part, this is the front skirt. This is for the front part, the front part of the skirt. So I went ahead and fold my fabric into two again. Then I leaving extra allowance here for the zipper. So this line is the zipper allowance. So I have 2 inches of zipper allowance here. Okay, so that is how I got this measurement I cut out. And so as you can see here at the down part, this is the down part. I made some folding here. So because the reason why I fold, I won't be sewing it like stitching, like folding it. I will use lining to turn it. I'll be using lining to turn the down part of it. So that is why I have this folding at the down part. Okay guys, so now the down part, I'll be, like I said, I'll be folding it. So that I'll be using lining to turn it up. So you go ahead and make a fold. So here I have 2.5 inches I placed on fold. So the next thing we'll do right now is to input our measurement. So from here right now, okay guys, please, if this is your first time of joining and coming into my channel, please kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos you get notified. Okay, all right. So first of all, I will be marking out my skirt length. Okay, so here, after placing here on fold, the next thing is to get my skirt length, and the skirt length I'll be working on is 41 inches. So 41 inches, I will be, after placing it on fold, I will place my tape like this to mark out my 41 inches. So here I have my 41 inches here. I will be marking it out. So this is my 41 inches. I will go ahead and add extra half inch for sewing the top. On the top of this, I'll add extra half inch. Okay, so this is my half inch for sewing. So this will serve as my skirt waist. This is the waistline. So the next thing I'll do right now is to mark out my hip line and the knee length. So from this waistline now, I will measure hip line. The hip line I'll be working on today is hip line of 9 inches. I'll be using 9 inches. So you'll mark it out. So this is my 9 inches for the hip line. Then I'll be marking out my knee length. And the knee length I'll be working on is 18 inches. Okay, the knee length of 18 inches or 18.5. So I'll be marking 18.5 here because of the half inch of sewing allowance I added here. So I have my 18.5 here. All right, so having gotten that, so now I'll go ahead and cut this part out. So I'll be cutting here out. So we don't need this part anymore. Okay, all right. So the next thing is for us to input our horizontal measurement. So here the skirt waist I'll be working on, I have the skirt waist of 37 inches. So 37 divided by 4, that will give us 9.2. So from this front from this front from this front skirt, this is the front part, you place your measurement. You start from the front part, mark your measurement. So I have 9.2 here. So I'll be adding this particular tutorial, I'll be adding that So because of that, I'll go ahead and add extra 2 inches of sewing allowance. So this is my 2 inch of sewing allowance here. So the hip measurement I have the hip measurement of 45 inches. So 45 divided by 4, that will give us 11.2. So you mark your 11.2 plus extra. On the hip line I'll be using 1.5, 1.5 for the sewing allowance for the hip, but for the waist I'll be using 2 inches. So on the knee length now, the knee length I'll be subtracting 4 inches from the hip measurement. So the hip measurement is 45. 45 minus 4 inches, that will give us 41 inches. So 41 inch divided by 4, that will give us 10.2. So here, then I'll go ahead and add 1 inch of sewing allowance. So here I have 2 inch, 1.5 and 1 inch. So now from here, from the total, I will measure the total I got on the knee length. So what I have here, I have 11.5. So I'll go ahead and mark 11.5 down to the skirt length. So here I'll mark my 11.5. So here I have my 11.5. So I will connect all the lines together. So this is for the hip, for the knee, then the length. Okay. So now guys, on this waist measurement, I'll be coming down by half an inch. So here I'll mark my half an inch. Then I'll for the front part, for this front part, so I'll go ahead and connect. You can use your hip cuff or you can use your straight line. You connect it to the waist from the side down to the front part here. You connect. So having done that now, the next thing we'll do right now is, remember we have here I added 2 inches of um zipper allowance. The reason for that is because here on this here, actually the zipper allowance I wanted is 1.5, 1.5 inch of zipper allowance, but I added 2 inches because of the hip part. So on this hip part now, I'll be leaving that 2 inches. As you can see here, this is the hip 2 inches. I'll go ahead and leave that 2 inches. But on this waistline, on the waistline, I'll be marking out my 1.5 inches. So here I have my 1.5 inch. Okay, I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. So now, having marked 1.5 on my waistline, then the hip line, I will maintain these 2 inches. So here on the knee line, I'll come in again. I will mark my 1.5 from this hip line, from this knee line down to the skirt length. So I'll go ahead and mark my 1.5. So after which I will connect the lines this way. The reason for this is so that it will enable the buttocks to sit properly. You know, some people have big buttocks, but you can ignore this method if you are working for normal, maybe those who doesn't have much hip. You can skip it. You can as well skip it even if you're working for a plus size, those who have big hip. It will still fit, but I like to use this method so that the hip will sit comfortable. So then I'll connect the lines this way, then down to the skirt length. As you can see now, I have my um, my actual 1.5 zipper allowance that I wanted. The only reason why I made it 2 inches was for the buttocks. I want more space to enable the buttocks to fit properly. So now, having gotten it, as you can see the shape I have here, this is the shape we have, so that the buttocks will sit properly. Okay, so now let's mark our dart. I'll be using our nipple to nipple for our dart measurement. So the nipple to nipple I have is 8. So 8 divided by 2, that will give us 4. I'll go ahead and add extra half inch of um, sewing allowance. So I have 4.2. So this is my dart. So on this part now, I will measure the same. Okay, I'll be marking out 5 inches. So here, this is my 5 inches for the dart. So I'm using 4.5 by 5 inches. Nipple to nipple measurement plus my 5 inches. So here now, I'll be adding half inch on both sides, half inch on both sides. That is for our dart. So you connect. I don't know if you guys can see the white chalk. Okay, it's visible, right? So this is for the dart. You can see. All right. So now the next thing we'll do is to cut. We are going to cut out our marking so that, all right. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So, but I will first of all notch. This is the dart. I will notch this dart area. I will be adding that to this skirt. So now I'll go ahead and cut it out. Okay. So from here. Okay. Okay, guys. So I'm done cutting it out. So this is what we'll have here. As you can see, this is the waistline. So remember the half inch we we slanted from the front. So this is it. So this is the hip line. We are done cutting it out. So I've notched the front part. Okay, we'll go ahead and notch. We'll be notching the front part and the zip. I've also notched the zip. This is for the zip line. Okay, so guys, that is it for this tutorial. So I'll go ahead and notch this part also. You can see I've notched this part. Okay, so this will indicate where my fold will start. So when I'm cutting the lining, I will cut lining. So the lining will start from this part. The lining will start here. But if you don't want to use lining, or maybe you want half lining, you can just measure out your skirt length, then add your folding allowance. So by this, I'll be turning it up. So here, that is why I folded this downward. Okay, guys. So this is it for this tutorial. Please, if you find this tutorial helpful, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you will get notified. So thank you so much for joining me, guys, and